Hi, I'm Cautex, and this is my Shadowlands patch 9.1 Fury Warrior Quick Guide. This is a super condensed version of my Shadowlands guide for people who just want to know what's best and don't care to know why those things are the best. I don't explain any of my recommendations, so if you want to know why I'm saying you should do something, I encourage you to check out the in-depth guide which can be found at the card in the upper right. Anyway, let's get started. When playing a Fury Warrior, your goal is to generate rage as quickly as possible, and then once you get 80 rage, you should spend it on Rampage. In between Rampages, you should prioritize using Execute if it's available, and if not, you should prioritize using Raging Blow. If you can't use Raging Blow, you should use Bloodthirst. However, if you're not enraged, you should prioritize using Bloodthirst over Raging Blow if you have to decide between the two. If you can't use Execute, Raging Blow, or Bloodthirst, then you should fill that GCD with Whirlwind. If you're in a 2-target cleave fight, then you're going to want to make sure that you have the Whirlwind buff up for every Rampage. If there's 3 or more targets, then you should maintain the Whirlwind buff so that you can cleave all of your damaging abilities. Your best 2 secondary stats are Haste and Mastery, but you should sim yourself because it can vary a lot. For Domination Shards, the best set bonus to go for is the Unholy bonus. After that, you should get the Frost Damage Shard and the Blood Damage Shard. Gear with Domination sockets can only spawn on Helm, Shoulders, Chest, Bracers, and Gloves, and so if possible, you should avoid crafting your Legendary on one of these slots so that you can get the maximum of 5 Domination Shards. If all you care about is single target DPS, then Venthyr is the best choice of Covenant for you, and you should craft the Sinful Surge Legendary. For talents, you should get Sudden Death, Double Time, Massacre, War Paint, Cruelty, Dragon's Roar, and Anger Management. For AoE fights, you should use the Signet of Tormented Kings Legendary, and spec into Bladestorm and Fresh Meat. Regardless of the number of targets, you should soulbind with Nadja and make sure to get Dauntless Duelist. If what you care about is being able to have both competitive single target and AoE DPS, or you're primarily focused on Mythic Plus, then you can choose Nightfade for more burst AoE DPS and extra movement options, or you can go Kyrian for more consistent AoE DPS and more group utility. If you go Nightfade, your best legendary is technically Nature's Fury for both single target and AoE fights, but it's a sim trap and requires the mob to never move, so it's probably just safer to use Signet of Tormented Kings if you anticipate that there will be mob movement during the encounter. For single target DPS, you're going to use the standard build of Sudden Death, Double Time, Frenzy, War Paint, Cruelty, Bladestorm, and Anger Management if you're using Signet. If you decide to gamble with Nature's Fury, then switch to using Dragon's Roar instead of Bladestorm and Siegebreaker instead of Anger Management. For AoE fights, you're going to take the standard AoE build of Fresh Meat, Double Time, Massacre, War Paint, Cruelty, Bladestorm, and Anger Management, regardless of which legendary you use. For single target fights, you're going to want to soulbind with Naya and make sure that you get Burrs. And then for AoE fights in Mythic Plus, you're going to want to soulbind with Karain and make sure that you get First Strike. If you decide to go Kyrian, then you're going to want to use Signet of Tormented Kings for single target fights and Elysian Might for AoE fights. Both legendaries use the same default single target and AoE builds, just like Nightfade does when using Signet. For single target fights, it's best to soulbind with Pelagos and grab Better Together. And for AoE fights, it's best to soulbind with Mykonikos and grab Hammer of Genesis. If all you care about is being the real MVP, then Necrolord is the best choice as it provides the most net raid DPS. If you go Necrolord, your best legendary is going to be Glory. For talents, Necrolord uses the standard single target and AoE builds. And for single target fights, you're going to want to soulbind with Bonesmith Hermir, making sure to grab Marrow Gemstone. For AoE fights, it's best to soulbind with Emony while making sure to grab Gnashing Chompers. And that's everything that I think you need to know in order to successfully play a Fury Warrior in Shadowlands patch 9.1. I sincerely hope that this guide has been helpful for you. As patches, hotfixes, and new theory crafting discoveries occur and change what the best practices are for Fury Warriors, I will be making videos discussing and analyzing them. If you're confused about any part of this guide, feel free to ask and I will do my best to help you out. Alternatively, tell me why what I've said is wrong and why my opinions are dumb. Lastly, I just want to say thank you for watching this video and subscribe for more.